Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2022 movie, The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. So this is a standalone spin-off film in the Ice Age franchise that Disney Plus dropped earlier this year. After Disney had shut down Blue Sky Studios, which or the people who created Ice Age shut them down and put them out of work and stuff, they hired a new company to come in and do this movie, and this one follows Crash and Eddie, who are getting tired of living with Manny, Ellie, and Sid and Diego and the gang, and so they go on their own adventure into the Lost World from Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs and team up with Buck to take on this dinosaur who is wanting to take over the Lost World. And all the while, Manny, Sid, Diego, and Ellie are trying to find Crash and Eddie and save them. This movie is really, really horrible. I'm a big fan of the Ice Age franchise. If you've seen my reviews for the 5 movies that went to theaters and stuff, you know that I really enjoy these movies. Even the weakest ones, like 4 and 5, I think are still pretty good. But this one is just, it is horrible. The animation is very, very bad. It's on a lower budget and stuff because of it being a direct-to-streaming movie, and it feels kind of like those direct-to-video movies you would get from Disney in the early 2000s. Like, it felt like a lot of the people that would have worked on those would have worked on this. The animation quality is just terrible. The story is pretty bad, and making Crash and Eddie the main characters is right there alone is pretty stupid, because if you're a fan of Ice Age and stuff, you don't want to watch Ice Age for Crash and Eddie. Nobody likes Crash and Eddie. Even me, who is a big fan of the franchise, say that I don't like them. They're annoying. They're fine in the first couple movies and everything, but after they don't really serve a purpose in the franchise really anyway. They're just kind of there to be Ellie's brothers. They were okay in the second one and okay in the third one, and then I don't remember any of their stuff in the other two except that they were just being idiots and everything. This one, they're just very annoying, and it's that we got to prove to our sisters that we can take care of ourselves on our own stuff, and you know how it's going to go. And they try to have this big emotional moment at the end where Crash and Eddie stay with Buck in the Lost World, and our favorite Ice Age characters, the ones that the movie should have been about, are going back up to their world, and it just it doesn't have an emotional punch at all. And part of it also could be that they don't bring back any of the original voice cast except for Simon Pegg as Buck, and even he sounded off in this movie because he's not working with any of the people he worked with before, I'm guessing, or maybe he just did it for the paycheck. He probably did. It sounded like he was just reading the script. He didn't bring any life to Buck. Of course, the characters, they just look have an uncanny valley feel to them, because in all the other movies, you know how the Ice Age franchise is cartoony and stuff. This one, they're not cartoony at all. They all just look like they're stiff and have no personality at all whatsoever. It was a huge disservice to the Ice Age. And I know this franchise isn't super well beloved and everything, but as somebody who is a legit fan of Ice Age and grew up with these movies and stuff, it's embarrassingly bad how big of a low this franchise has taken. It's one of the biggest lows for a big franchise that I've always loved. I absolutely just don't like this movie, and Scrat's not in here, which right there makes it not feel like an Ice Age movie, because you can't really do Ice Age without Scrat. It just doesn't feel right, and everything. I was really disappointed in that too. Like there's no Scrat and everything. I had heard people tell me that he wasn't in it, but I was like hoping that he'd at least have a cameo. And it just, you never really realize how important a character is until they just completely take him out and everything. And there's also other characters missing. She-Ra and Brooke from the previous 2 movies, who were Sid and Diego's love interest. They're both missing in this movie, and Manny and Ellie's daughter, Peaches, and her new husband is missing, which I guess could make sense. Maybe they're off on their own little adventure, but it doesn't make sense why She-Ra and Brooke aren't in here. And they just completely ignored them and acted like they didn't exist. And the movie references a little bit of stuff from the first 3 movies, but it kind of ignores the previous 2, which is kind of jacked up, because those 2 movies were not near as bad as everybody said and everything. And while they do keep adding too many characters in the franchise in the previous 2 installments, at least they kept the continuity going. They knew what they were doing with the continuity. This movie felt like it was written by a bunch of people who knew nothing about Ice Age and were just there to get a paycheck. Like that's all this movie felt like. It's just a very, very horrible movie. It's the first Ice Age movie that I actually feel is total crap. It's one of the worst movies I've seen in animated movies I've ever seen. It ranks up there with the Emoji Movie and Ugly Dolls as animated movies that I just really don't like. And it could have been a good movie. It had a lot of potential and everything. And I think this was also maybe meant to be like a TV show, because it kind of felt episodic too. Like maybe it was like maybe 3 episodes of a TV show, and that could be it too, which doesn't excuse it though, because they marketed it as a movie, and it's a terrible movie. I don't like the way Disney did Blue Sky Studios. They just shut them down and everything, instead of just selling it to a better company and everything. And I honestly think this movie is what would have happened to Pixar properties if Disney would have kept the rights, because I don't know if you know, but Pixar, before they were bought out by Disney, were going to go their separate ways, and Disney was going to still make Toy Story 3, and they were going to make Finding Nemo 2, Monsters Inc. 2, and stuff with a different animation company. They were creating one specifically to specialize in Pixar sequels without Pixar, and those movies would have turned out like this, just a really hollow shell of what these characters even are, with terrible animation and stuff. And it sucks that they're going to be doing this with Blue Sky stuff. I probably won't be watching any more Ice Age movies if they make any more, because this was just, it was awful. And it's easily the worst movie I've seen of 2022, which doesn't really say a lot. I've only seen like maybe 7 or 8 movies of this year, and all of them have been pretty decent. All the ones that I have seen, this is the first one really bad movie of the year that I've seen. I know there's probably other ones that are bad too, but this one will definitely be high on my worst movies of the year list. And I just really did not like the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. It just was very, very bad. And Buck is also another character that isn't one of those characters I'd like to see as a main character. He's fine as a supporting character. I liked him in the 3rd movie quite a bit. He got on my nerves a little bit in Ice Age Collision Course, but not too bad. But this one, he's just really annoying, and he has this girlfriend or friend or whatever that's a skunk, and I don't remember her name. I don't really care about her. She wasn't very good. And this movie could have been okay. It could have been halfway decent. There was nothing put into it. It was just a soulless thing to hope for Disney, hoping that Ice Age fans would want to join Disney Plus so they could see it and everything. And if you're an Ice Age fan and you join Disney Plus just for this movie, I really feel bad for you. Luckily, there's a lot of other way better content you can watch on there, but out of all the things Disney has acquired from Fox so far, this is the one that's bothered me the most. Home Sweet Home Alone was not super great, but what they did with this Ice Age movie, to me, just was worse. And maybe it's because I have a lot more fondness towards Ice Age and stuff, and Home Alone's already kind of been spoiled with terrible sequels. I kind of have a special spot in my heart for the Ice Age franchise, and this movie it's awful and everything. So I just want to say thank you to Disney for taking some of my favorite characters and totally butchering them and everything. And I hope that if you're a fan of the Ice Age franchise, I hope you skip this movie, because it is not worth watching. It is a total piece of crap and everything. And I'd say I'd give it a 0 out of 10. It's very, very horrible movie, and Disney, you should feel very ashamed for what you did with this piece of crap. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and have a good day, everybody.